My name is Tony Moton, and that's Tony Moton. I am a professor, assistant teaching professor of journalism, sports media, broadcasting, a little bit of everything at Iowa State. I'll be entering my third year. I can't believe it. 2 summers ago I came here. Before that, I was a professor at Wartburg College in Waverly, Iowa, where I specialized in sports media. And then before that, I was in Los Angeles for 20 years, kind of applying my writing trade and working different jobs. My last job in Los Angeles was I was an athletic director, coach, and PE teacher at a middle school in Beverly Hills. And that was an adventure. But I've always been pursuing writing. My first passion is journalism and writing, and I've done it in different ways in different places on the Midwest, West Coast, and just really happy with the things I'm able to do here at Iowa State. So I'm connected to the Ames Writers Collective because there was an event in downtown Ames about a year or so ago, and the Ames Writers Collective had like a booth, and I'm like, this is interesting. There's a bunch of writers in town, and I knew writers collectives existed, but I've never been a part of one. And then I came to I think a couple of meetings or open rights that they had, and then the director of the program, Anna, I was interested in becoming a board member, and I had never been a board member of anything before in my life, and I just thought that would be a cool way to get to know other people in the industry, but also just kind of get more footing in Ames as someone who lives here and wants to really settle here. So that's part of it. But now I'm part of I'm on another board. Back in March, April, I joined the Midwest Broadcast Journalists Association as a board member representing Iowa. And so I'm now on 2 boards. So it's infectious. Let me start. But yeah, so I'm pretty happy doing those kinds of things and just maybe having a say in how things are done and how people are receive the group. Well, as a board member, you could kind of say I'm part of the brain trust of the operation, where we've had meetings just to discuss policies, events, ideas for drawing in new members. Most recently, we had a board meeting just looking into the future, what's going on in the fall. But before that, we had a really big board meeting to help set up our grand opening, which was really cool, and just the logistics, and to see to have basically a full house of people at the grand opening. I was kind of responsible for finding the catering, and I think I picked good food that night, so I'm pretty proud of that. But just to see us pull our resources together and put on a great event like that was probably the most satisfying thing for me as a board member up to this point. There are a lot of people out there that love to write. They're probably in their basement or in their bedroom, or maybe don't come out. It's not just for the professional writers, but for anyone who has a passion for writing, whether it's fiction, nonfiction, poetry. I think it's all great that we can service people like that with this group. I think there is, communication to me is paramount in our lives. Being able to express yourself with the written word, to me, is power. As a writer, I know that I've gotten things accomplished simply because I could write an email well, or convince someone to join the team. Writing is a powerful tool, and it never should be underestimated. I know we're in a different day and time now with the advent of artificial intelligence, but I will say this, that nothing can defeat or compete with the human mind. And as a writer, I believe that. And so every day I get a chance to be creative and to share that creativity with other people or communicate and build community through writing. I think that will never, never end.
Community.
For me, I think that anything that allows people to communicate with each other and share ideas, in a lot of ways, there's strength in numbers. And community is about communicating. And writing for me is the most powerful tool you can have. I know that we're in an age of artificial intelligence, but there's nothing to me that the mind can't do in terms of writing and communication. And I think it's a very, very powerful tool. From writing a good email to getting results, from a letter. People don't necessarily write letters and fold them like the old days, right? But you can start movements with the written word. And I think in Ames, which is, a growing community, in some ways transient, in ways because it's a college town, but there's a lot of energy in Ames for any number of reasons. I love what they're doing with the downtown area. And, for example, the Ames Regional Economic Alliance has a magazine that comes out that really shines a light on businesses. It's really, really well done. It's well written. And so in that regard, Ames benefits from people who have a proficiency in writing and are willing to communicate their ideas with others. You can build communities through writing for sure. I think one of the things I try to do is demystify the pressure that people instinctively put on themselves when they face a blank page. I don't care if you're professional, you've been writing for years, there is nothing more frightening than a blank page. I know that. I live with that every day. And what I try to teach students is that it's okay to fail. Even if you write something and it's bad, that's better than not writing anything. Because what you eventually can do is you can learn from your mistakes, go back through your work, understand what works, what doesn't work. But if you're too afraid to put something on the page, which is known as writer's block, which I really don't think exists, I think it's a convenient term. You have to learn how to exercise the power of failure, if that's something that exists. So that's what I try to do. I don't put a lot of emphasis on, okay, you're going to get this grade for this. If you keep making the same mistakes or have bad habits, yeah, I'm going to ding you for it if you keep making because you're not listening to me. But the thing I try to demystify is that whole notion of fear of the blank page. And again, kind of going back to AI, yes, there's possibility that it can be a helpful tool, but it should not replace the cognitive energy that you have to put on the page. And writing is one way to keep yourself sharp throughout your life. You can write until forever.
Journalists who are trying to get into the field.
I'm going to borrow this from one of my mentors. He was a screenwriting mentor of mine named Lou Hunter. And you can look him up. Lou Hunter's Screenwriting 434 is the name of his book. And one of the things he always told me and told his legions of followers is that you should always, at least at first, write something whether it's a story, novel, screenplay, poem, write something that comes from the burning asphalt highway of your soul, something that no one else can tell but you. And if you start with that kernel of inspiration, good things can happen. I did that with my first screenplay. It's a baseball story based on my life. And I had never written a screenplay before, but I told a story that meant so much to me that it was on the page. Maybe not great at first, but through subsequent rewrites. And it wound up winning while I was at UCLA in their master's program of screenwriting, a Samuel Goldwyn Writing Award, which is the same award that Francis Ford Coppola won when he was a UCLA student. And so I'll never forget that, is that I wrote something that meant so much to me that no one else could tell. And I'm probably going to do something similar, whether it's a novel or a memoir, kind of based on that same scenario. But I think that's the most important thing. What are you passionate about? What is something that you have to tell, that you want to shout from the highest mountain? That's what you write.